Good evening, sir. My name is Alok Shukla. I am an engineering graduate from Delhi University. Sir, a few days back, I have a discussion on Islamic invasion on Hindu temples and desecration of them. So what he said was, it was nothing but a continuation of Shaivites and Vaishnavis fights in between them, and they also used to destroy and desecrate each other's temples. And he cited some archaeological
Okay,
evidences
okay.
also.
Yeah, okay, I understand this issue very well. It's a very common left-wing critique that you cannot blame Muslims for doing what you were always doing. Now, there are many logical flaws in this. There are many logical flaws in this. I mean, you don't say, okay, this rape is okay because somebody else also had raped somebody. One bad thing does not justify the other. Whether Shaivites and Vaishnavites did it or not is completely irrelevant to the fact that Muslims came and invaded and destroyed temples. They have to be accountable for their crime, even if somebody else has to be accountable for their crime. First. Secondly, there is a difference between an internal clash and an outsider coming. If there's a family clash, it's one thing. An outsider coming is a territorial expansion in which we lose, all of us lose. Whereas if it's an internal clash, maybe person X beats person Y, they are neighbors, and then next generation Y beats X, they are neighbors. Over a period of time, the value, the market share, the total capital remains in the country about the same. It may get redistributed one way, then redistributed back another way. So maybe the power goes to Shaivites, the power goes to Vaishnavites, but it stays within the land. It doesn't get siphoned in thousands of camels taking loot away to the Middle East. It doesn't happen that way. But when there is geographical expansion from one continent to the other, it is a completely different thing, not only in the devastation of the material side of the wealth, but also ideologically a whole new framework, a whole new paradigm that originated somewhere else gets imposed on you. A whole new language gets imposed on you, and culture gets imposed on you. So the foreign invasion is of a very different kind than local kings fighting each other. That's the second point. The third point is that this business is exaggerated. This business of Shaivites and Vaishnavites, they did not have multi-generational huge armies of 20,000, 50,000 horsemen going in a big army to invade. It was a little small scale, some guy fought another guy, the way people fight anywhere. It was not something that somebody can say that there was a Shaivite kingdom invading and expanding a Shaivite dynasty for many generations on an expansion rampage, the way we have suffered from Middle East people coming. So the scale of this, the duration of this, and the intensity of this within India was nowhere compared to what we saw from foreign invaders.
Desecration of temples was correct.
Of course. No. The desecularization of Islamic temples of India is correct. That is correct. Okay, the question is, did a Shaivite ever take over a Vaishnavite temple or a Vaishnavite? Of course, there were instances when they did that, but it was not on the same scale. And it was basically some rivalry, local rivalry, but it is different than, if it is sanctioned in your theology, it's sanctioned in your book. It is not sanctioned in the Vaishnavite books that you have to go and do this to the others. So if one guy of his own did it, then maybe 20 years later it was forgotten. It didn't sort of continue and expand over thousands of miles and hundreds of years the way the foreign invasions did. So that's the big difference, I think.